Welcome to the podcast by and about Zandmakers. People who make the neighborhood at Zand in Den Bosch the special diverse neighborhood that it is. My name is Remco Hendriksen. I have been a Zandbewoner for 2 years and I'm still amazed every day by the activity, diversity and involvement within the neighborhood.
This is Zand Talk, the story about your street, where small acts stand tall, where making a difference starts at the doorbell and connection grows with the question, how are you really doing today? Hyper-local, but of universal value. Zandmakers, together we form the foundation upon which we build, with ears wide open and a heart that dares to look. Zandbewoners, we are the neighborhood. Not just neighbors, but the start of something bigger.
Today we are standing on Koninginnenlaan in het Zand, a road that has played a vital role in traffic through Den Bosch for over a century, together with the Koningsweg and the Oranje-Nassaulaan. But who is King William III, the king the Koningsweg refers to? William III of the Netherlands, who lived from 1817 till 1890, was the third king of the Netherlands, descendant of the Orange dynasty, while William III of Orange, from 1650 till 1702, was the famous stadholder king, who also ruled England and died during the period of the Dutch Republic. The former was a 19th century monarch, the latter a 17th century ruler who strengthened the power of parliament. They are two different people from different eras, both sharing the name William III and both having a connection to the House of Oranje-Nassau. So the Koningsweg is the heart of het Zand, referring to Koning Willem III of the Netherlands, who was on the throne the time het Zand was developed. This important street symbolizes the city of Den Bosch's gradual strengthening of its ties to the royal family. The city previously had a difficult history with the northern Netherlands and its Protestant rulers, particularly due to events from the 80 Years' War and the capture by Frederik Hendrik in 1629, which the Catholic majority of Den Bosch perceived as an occupation. But at the end of the 19th century, we see a change. Under the leadership of Mayor van der Does de Willebois, who governed the city from 1884, het Zand was laid out with streets honoring the royal family and nobility, namely the Koningsweg, Oranje-Nassaulaan and Oranje-Nassauplein. In 1895, just 5 years after William III passed away, Queen Wilhelmina, just 15 years old, and her mother, Queen Regent Emma, visited Den Bosch. In favor of this royal visit, the streets between the Oranje-Nassauplein and Emmaplein, partly parallel to the Oranje-Nassaulaan, is named Koninginnenlaan, Koninginnen in plural, referring to the two queens, which symbolized the renewed bond between the city and the monarchy. Oranje-Nassauplein was renamed Julianaplein in 1909, the year Princess Juliana, later Queen Juliana, was born. These namings were part of a broader development. After the constitutional amendment of 1848, the Netherlands, under Thorbecke, achieved a constitutional monarchy in which freedom of religion was guaranteed. For the Catholic population in 's-Hertogenbosch and Noord-Brabant, this meant more room to become independent and politically involved. Catholics had long been a marginalized group, but began to organize themselves to associations and political parties, gradually gaining influence in national government. As the provincial capital, 's-Hertogenbosch played a crucial role in this emancipation. Catholic leaders from the city increasingly held political and social positions and made their mark on national debates, for example, regarding the right to Catholic education. The recognition of the royal family and the strengthening of ties with it were also political symbols of their new place within the Dutch state system. For example, the royal street names in Zand reflect not only tribute to the royal family, but also the changing social structures in the Netherlands and 's-Hertogenbosch. Where distrust and distance once prevailed, there now stood a city that proudly combined its Catholic roots with a national identity. In short, de Koningsweg, de Emmaplein, de Oranje-Nassaulaan and later de Koninginnenlaan and the Julianaplein are silent witnesses of a time of transition in which het Zand and the city of Den Bosch as a whole forged a new, close bond with the Dutch monarchy and its national state. When I arrive in front of Anna-Maria's door a little early, I marvel at the enormous front door, which appears to consist of 2 tall panelled sections. Its size is emphasized by the stone steps and the 2 upper windows. It's a door you usually race past through the Drakentunnel or cycle past, watching out for the cars speeding along the narrow parallel road at 50 kilometers per hour. As the door opens and we receive a warm welcome and ascend the long staircase, the peaceful monochrome interior stands out. In the living room, authentic details, the marble fireplaces, ensuite rooms, classic high doors and skirting boards blend together with a sleek, semi-open kitchen, the minimalist light oak floor and the light oak Scandinavian table and chairs. If you look around for a moment, you imagine yourself in a Victorian house that could just as easily have been in London or New York. That leads us to a smooth segue to Anna-Maria. As a cosmopolitan, she too fits just as easily in a metropolitan as in our provincial town. Radiating peace and balance, and just as easily in touch with universal nature, the diversity of people in the city and her inner world. It makes me curious about her story and what caused her to literally land in het Zand after her wanderings and turned her into an involved Zandmaker. Anna-Maria, thank you for having us here from the Zandmakers podcast. The first podcast made in English. Before we start, Anna-Maria, can you tell something about yourself?
Sure, yeah. First of all, thank you for having me. It's really an honor to be able to share my experience here, living here in Den Bosch, in the neighborhood. I've lived in the Netherlands for 14 years.
Okay, that's a long time.
Long time. Started out in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Actually, I first landed in Den Bosch. I moved here for work. And I thought, whoa, where am I? It was really culturally different from where I had been used to living, because I'm used to living in big cities.
Okay.
So I lived in Toronto, in Athens, in London, and then I came to Den Bosch and I was like, and I decided to live in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
That's where I started out. And I moved to Den Bosch, to this neighborhood in 2018, November of 2018.
So how long did you commute between Amsterdam and Den Bosch?
So about 4 years, okay. I would say. Yeah. Okay. And then the rest of the time I've lived here. I bought my house here and my work was always based here in Den Bosch.
Yeah.
So I decided that I want to live closer to where I work because I really enjoyed the job.
Okay, so it was partly the job and the commuting that made you decide to live here.
Yes.
Were there other reasons for you to choose Den Bosch?
Yeah, I really like the nature that it offers. I also, in the time that I moved here, got a little dog. And the commute was quite difficult for him. I also have a very, very lovely, it's a farm, a daycare in Rosmalen that he used to go to when I worked.
Yeah.
So I became quite attached to that and the people. So I thought the transition to Den Bosch just felt very natural to me because I knew it. I worked here. I had the daycare in Rosmalen, which is right next door. And I knew a little bit about the city. And I started to make friends from work that also lived in Den Bosch. So that sense of community was really important. And it still is very important to me. So I thought, Den Bosch seems like the right step.
But it also could have been one of the smaller places around Den Bosch where you even have more nature or right in the nature.
Yeah, it could have. But I also chose my house here for the proximity of it being very close to the city center, but also close to the train station. And basically, I mean, everything's close in Den Bosch, but because I still wanted to feel that I lived in a city. So to answer your question of I could have chosen a neighboring village or little town or city, yes, but I still wasn't yet ready to let go of the feeling of I'm still in a busy city.
Yeah.
So then, hence why I thought Den Bosch is the place.
Yeah, so it's a feeling of a city, but what are also maybe the things that you do here that this city provides?
What do I do? Well, actually, that's interesting because as I start to get older, I avoid the city more and more.
Okay.
So what actually brought me here is not what keeps me here. So what keeps me here is more the sense of community, my friends, people that relationships that I've made during the time that I've been here. It's the proximity to nature. I love walking by the IJsselmeer, the lake, and the dunes, the sand dunes. I can, a quick drive into the forest. Any forest is just beautiful. So that's really what I love about Den Bosch. And I like to exercise. So walking in nature is important, but also I'm, doing Pilates, for example, in the city.
And when you talk about community, the sense of community, but also the actual community.
Yeah.
Where is your community? What kind of communities do you have here?
So I also, next to my corporate job, I'm teaching meditation. I start with small groups, started out in Den Bosch, but I also rent a space in Vught.
Yeah.
So that's a community that I identify, and I'm also building. So that's one. Another one is my very close friends here who are actually like family to me. I have a goddaughter who I baptized here. She's born Muntel. Does that classify as the son? No, I think it's not. Okay, well, it's right next door.
Yeah.
So I met them there, and the family, and we became extremely close during the COVID times. So they asked me to be the goddaughter. So it's like I've also created something, a part of my new life, so to speak, here. So that keeps me grounded. And Gus and Rose are also close friends of mine. When I moved here, I received what was it? Was it a note in my mailbox? Something about the neighborhood. And the card said, it was a card, and it said, well, if you're interested in joining our community or any volunteer work, fill out this card and mail it in this mailbox. And I did that, and it was Gus on the other side.
Okay.
And he responded in like perfect English. And I thought, wow, I mean, you Dutch people do speak perfect English. Your English is amazing too. And I thought, oh, wow, that's really refreshing to meet someone. And they came over and he said, "Oh, my wife is also from South Africa." And I thought, oh, wow, it's not as, because well, I'm not going to lie, it was a little bit difficult for me when I first moved here because the Dutch people are, I mean, they're very open and very friendly, but they have their own groups, their own communities. So they won't easily let you in so much. But Gus and Rose, for example, and my other friends, my goddaughter's parents, they immediately embrace me and involve me. And if they're out doing something, would always think about inviting me. And then I can expand my network like that, my people who I know. And that's really important. So those are the kind of communities.
Yeah. But is it, if you look at the people within those communities and also in the Zand, are you connected more to people who are not from Dutch origin, or?
Yes.
Okay, still.
Yeah, I'm still connected to people who are not of Dutch origin.
And what makes it easier to connect with them, or maybe also what makes it more difficult to connect with?
I think it's cultural. I think what makes it easier is, as a foreigner, when you leave your home to relocate to a new country and build a life there, that's an experience that if you're born and raised and stay in one country, so maybe not, I understand that Dutch people move around, but if you stay in the same country, speak the same language, they don't understand. It's just an experience that isn't carried or shared. And as a foreigner, if you've had that experience, there is an immediate connection. And that's the best way I can describe it. It's not quite the same to move within the same country to a different town than it is to leave a different culture, country. When I came here, for example, I had a culture shock. I underestimated not speaking Dutch, new job, new people, new friends. Everything was new. And I thought, okay, I've underestimated what this is going to be like a little bit.
And what is a culture that you feel as a person most connected with? Or what is your base?
So my background is I was born in Toronto, Canada. My mom is Canadian. My father was Greek. But then we moved when I was a baby with my sisters to Athens, Greece, and I was raised there. So I would say I most identify with the Greek culture. But I have sort of like a dual, I'd say like I'm like a bit of a stray, not a stray, but a mixed breed dog. Because the Canadian culture is very different to the Greek. But
I can imagine.
I have a little bit of both. I can take the good things, hopefully, of both cultures, but mostly in my heart, I would say it's Greek.
Yeah. If I think about the Dutch culture, after 14 years, which part of your heart did it get?
It's interesting. So today I have two sisters. I speak to them almost daily. We're very close. And they live, one was in Toronto, but recently moved to Greece. So they're now both in Greece. And she said to me this morning, I told her, I'm going to do a podcast. Oh, all those questions. And then we got into another conversation. And I said to her, that's not necessary. And she's like, whoa. She's like, you're becoming really a Dutchie.
Really straight.
And I said, why would you say that? And she's like, not necessary is really, really, because she dated a Dutch man and she briefly lived here for 5 months. And she's like, that is something a Dutch person would say. And I said, actually it is. And I really love it because it's two words that aren't rude, they're not abrasive, they say exactly what is. It's fair, it's not necessary, it's not more is needed, not necessary. I really like it. And it's two words that I use quite often. So I could say, that's part of the Dutch culture, that very precise, the language, the words are very precise, and they're not so in Greek culture, the language is very rich.
Yeah.
You can go overboard, that Greeks are very dramatic.
Yeah.
But in Holland, it's just what it needs to be.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less. And that's something I really appreciate.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've been talking about culture and also about language, and the two are very connected to each other. I mean, I think the language is also a way to express your culture.
Yeah.
But how is it to live in a country where you don't really speak the language?
It's okay. It's in the beginning was difficult.
Yeah.
I think on numerous occasions I went to the supermarket and bought something instead of chicken, or I mixed it all up. So that's okay. I have attempted to learn Dutch many times, so just a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's something for me, for my brain, for some reason that doesn't stick. But most luckily, all Dutch people speak perfect English. The level is really, really high here. So I've never had any issue or problem with it. And if I try to speak my limited Dutch, the person automatically switches to English. And then it's like, oh, did I say it wrong? I can get a bit insecure. But then it's like, no, it was all good. I just thought it might be easier for you, which is true. It is easier. Yeah. But I've never had any issues. And I have to say, 14 years ago, when I came to Den Bosch, it was much different than it is today.
Okay.
There was less variety here in terms of shops, restaurants. It was way more Dutch spoken. And today you walk into the city and I've heard Greek, you hear way more English, French, Chinese. It's become much more, it's to home to many cultures. Yeah. Let's put it like that. So it's easy.
And that also makes you feel more at home as being an international.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, that's also nice to hear.
Yeah.
On the other hand, sometimes I think that the Dutch are too easy to switch to English. That also makes it more difficult to really learn the language.
It makes it, it's easy. I would love to speak better Dutch.
Yeah.
I only think it's fair and sort of as a way of being grateful for living here, that you make an effort to speak the language of the country where you live. Yeah. I do see that as very valuable and important to also honor the culture. So in that respect, yes, my effort is there. Could it be better? Absolutely. But I do see it as really important. Yeah.
But within your work environment, English is the language.
It's an international company, yes, that I work with. So most people, the majority of people are Dutch. They do speak Dutch amongst themselves. Okay. But meetings, email, all communication is in English.
Yeah.
So,
When you want to express your feelings or when you dream, what language do you prefer?
I would do English.
Okay.
Yeah. My inner thoughts are always in English. The voice inside my head speaks to me in English.
Yeah. So somehow the Greek language didn't.
No, Greek is a difficult language. Mm-hmm. If you don't use it, you lose it. That's with everything. I think you do in life. Yeah. And now that I've spent some time out of Greece, I struggle with the vocabulary a bit. So it's not something that, so I should say that I was raised in Greece, but we didn't speak Greek at home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my mother doesn't speak Greek. She didn't learn it. And my father, being Greek, was raised in Canada. So he was raised in English as well. Yeah. So we spoke English. I went to an American school. Yeah. Yes, we spoke Greek, but the majority of time was in English. So,
So already at that time, you were used to live in a city, a surrounding where the language was different than the language you communicate mostly in and prefer. Yeah. If I ask, what is your main identity? How would you describe that? Or how?
I find that, an interesting question. I would say Greek for me, but to a Greek, a Greek. I'm not. The first question they ask me is, where are you from? And then I say, I'm Greek. But no, you're not really. So it's a difficult one because also now for me, for many years, my home is actually part, I think, of what people identify with was Greece. Now it's here for me. This is my home, but I'm also not Dutch. So it's a difficult question to answer, I think.
Talking about language and communication, how do you think that the information from the city and also from the community association, how does it reach you, and how do you?
Yeah, we receive a monthly email from the neighborhood association. It's like a monthly bulletin, like an update, activities this month in the neighborhood. Everybody's welcome to join. So, and that is also in Dutch and in English.
Okay.
It's evolved because some years ago it was only in Dutch, which was good for me. I've become a little bit lazy now that it's in English, but I need to translate it then, and now you can click and you get an English version, which is great because it feels more inclusive.
Yeah.
And so I always love to receive those updates from the municipality. Somehow I ended up on a mailing list. I don't know how that happened, but I receive very regular updates about things happening, like
in the neighborhood.
Literally, with traffic, with housing, with whatever, just sort of issues. And I opted out of that. It was a little too frequent, and I thought I don't really need to know this. It's fine. But in that sense, the communication is clear. It's regular.
Also in English?
No, it's in Dutch. It's in Dutch.
Okay. Yeah. And now it's like the information that you get from the neighborhood association is complete enough for you.
Yeah, it's complete. And from time to time, we get updates or surveys if we want to participate in. I recently participated in a survey on vacation, something about holidays, or stuff like that. So that's okay. Yeah, it's good. I experience it well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
When you live here for 14 years or 10 years then in Den Bosch, probably a lot of people have visited you also.
Yes.
And if you look through their eyes, what kind of reflection do you hear?
They really find it a very gentle city, I would say, really beautiful. It's unexpected because my friends and families live in big cities.
Yeah.
So they come here and they think, oh, wow, you're so lucky. Recently, my niece moved here.
Okay.
She actually graduated from high school in Athens.
Yeah.
Born and raised there. And she studies in the University of Utrecht. So she moved here to live, and she lives with me.
In this house?
Yeah, she lives here in this house.
Yeah.
And the thing that she always says, if I ask her to describe how does she like living here, is she says, everybody's so nice. Yeah, everybody's so kind. And she also worked. She's had various jobs here. She worked in a restaurant and in a company briefly alongside her studies. But she's really experienced that as like stepping into a warm bath, I would say. Yeah, which is really important because for a teenager that's never worked, so again, new city, new language, it's that wasn't my experience 14 years ago. So I'm really happy that that's evolved and she feels supported and held also by the community and the culture here.
Yeah. The home is also, it's nice if you said the home is where the heart is.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
For you, that is here in Den Bosch and in the Zand.
Yes, definitely. And when I'm, I go to Greece on holiday, that's always nice. But then I'm always ready to come back.
Yeah.
Because this is my home. And I think, let's go home now. And it's here.
Yeah.
And that's a bit of a weird switch for me in my life. If you told me your home would be in Holland 15 years.
It was never a choice. It happened.
It just, I fell into it, so to speak. I did choose it because I was offered my job, so I worked for Puma, and Puma in Greece said, we're closing down our office here. We can relocate you somewhere. And then there was 3 options. There was Germany, Austria, and the Netherlands. And I went to all 3, of course, and I chose for the Netherlands. So I chose it.
Yeah. And if you look back 14 years, it was the right choice?
It was the right choice. Absolutely. Definitely. Well, I'm still here. So that's how I know.
And you're not maybe the kind of expat that people think about when you talk about expats, because they are here. They're normally there for like 4 or 5 years.
Yes.
They rent an apartment. Everything is taken care of. But you chose to take care of it yourself, and finally also bought a house.
I did. When I first moved here, I had the same for a limited time. And then I thought, in the beginning, I was like, no way I'm going to stay here. Change is difficult for people to process.
Sure.
And it was difficult for me. But I gave myself a year. And I said, if you're still here in a year, that's a good sign. Then let's just, then you can make it 2 years or 3. But see, so my time limit was a year. And I mean, it's been 14 now. So it worked for me. Yeah.
And if we go further in time and another 14 years, would you be still living here?
I think right now, the way things are in my life and the way things are in the world, I think the Netherlands is one of the best countries in Europe you can live in. So both because of quality of life and, because of quality of life, actually.
Yeah.
So I think so. If something would change that's beyond my control, I don't know if I would still be here. But I mean, I don't have a crystal ball. Nobody does. No. But highly likely that I am. I plan to, at least.
Well, nice. Yeah, it's also nice to hear that. That also means that we have another 14 years. I hope to stay here too, and maybe even longer.
Oh, nice.
To stay in the Zand, in this neighborhood. Yeah. What do you do for this neighborhood? Because it's not only that you live here.
No, it's not only that I live here. So I'm participating in the community services and volunteer services from time to time. So things like picking up the garbage from the streets. I'm also working with the monastery, the cloister. So after the garbage cleanup, in the garden, serving the lunch to people, so helping out there. Recently, I've noticed a increase in the amount of people living on the streets here in the neighborhood. That wasn't the case when I moved here. I don't know if they're refugees or misplaced somehow, but I've actively tried to help them to understand what brought them there and maybe help guide them to social services or a job or whatever. I've also volunteered for the homeless shelter and made a Christmas dinner for them and spent time with them at Christmas. And from there, I also met some of the homeless people at the time who have now, thankfully, been rehoused. They still walk around the streets, but I know them. They go for a meal at the Anchor. So I see them there, and I always like to talk to them, and so I take the time to have a conversation and really connect. I mean, homeless people, they're people for one reason or another, or they've been misplaced, and I just see that as an opportunity for connection and a bit of humanity and kindness. And most people, if you see someone drinking, I mean, you never know if they're dangerous or not. But I don't, and I really connect, and they're lovely, and they're really kind, and some of the nicest things that people have ever said have come from those people. So
And is it you use the word connect a lot? But do you feel connected with them?
Yeah, I do. There's a few of them around here in this Het Zand. neighborhood that I really connect with. And I mean, I don't know them well, but we connect, and I always say hi and how are you today and what's going on, and they connect with the dog, and it's just really nice. And sometimes I get an occasional guest or family, and they see me, and then I see my friend coming, and I stop, and they look at me like, what are you talking to this person? Like, what are you doing? And it's a bit strange for them. I said, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. This is so-and-so, or this is so-and-so. It's all good. They're also part of our community.
They're part of our micro society, for sure.
So I don't like to outcast or label people. They're here. They live here in the neighborhood. And I also think that a neighborhood community, a volunteer, is nice. It's nice to bring people together, and I really appreciate the work that's done here. It's super important, but I also think it's not only about, having a barbecue or cleaning up garbage. It's also tackling fundamental problems that exist within our community. And they're only the way the world is going, I think they're only going to get worse.
Yeah. And do you see it also as a task that the neighborhood can do something with? I think
so. So recently we have a great example. I met a homeless person sitting in front of the Jumbo supermarket, and I just stopped to have a chat and so on. And he's been misplaced here. He's a Romanian person, came for work, but it didn't work out, so on and so forth. Long story. Anyways, I called my work and I asked them, what do we do if, someone's looking for work? That's because we have a warehouse, and we do provide work for refugees, Syrians, Ukrainians, all kind of nationalities. So I asked, and they said, well, you need social services, or you need to have an address or a BSN number. Oh, and I thought, okay, how do you get that? I don't know. If you're homeless, right? I never really, I had no experience that. So I called my friend Gus, and I said, hey, you're from here, you live here, can you help? And he said, absolutely, I can help. Let me just call some of my contacts that I know in the municipality. So he did. And then from there, we found a social services worker here in Den Bosch, and she gave us, needs to do this, and this. There's a social house you can bring him to. He can get a meal, he can take a shower, he can wash his clothes. And then on a Tuesday from 11 to 1, someone goes there and helps with the job. So we went there, we got all the information. Gus came with me. We did that together. We got the pamphlet that they gave us was even in Romanian. So they have information
in that language.
In the language, which is exceptional. I think, wow. And then we brought the information. And by then there was already 2 Romanian homeless people because we met one, but then there was a young lady there also asking for money in front of the supermarket. So we gave the information to her as well. And, fingers crossed, they say you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So.
Correct.
Let's see. I walk by there a lot, so I check in with them and see if they actually visited the place and did something with the information.
Very nice. You gave some fantastic examples of how you help others and what you do for the community, even though it's maybe not. Now it became your surrounding. It's where you live. What would you expect from the neighborhood or neighbors or community for you, maybe now or in the future?
Expect.
Well, wish maybe.
I think just that same support. That's why we're here, to support each other. That's something that I would wish for. Knock on wood, if I was ever in need of help or something, and I do receive that, and I do trust that people are there.
thank you so much for this interview and for getting to know you. And we just said at the beginning, well, I don't recall that we've seen each other.
No.
But now for sure we are connected and we say hello to each other and have a chat on the street.
Yes, and in 14 years, maybe we'll do another podcast.
Let's do that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Hello. We are here walking in the street and sometimes asking people behind doors and who live here some questions. Do you have time for that?
Yes.
With whom do I have the pleasure?
Alexei.
Alexei. That doesn't sound very Dutch. Where are you from?
I'm from Russia.
From Russia?
Yeah.
And since when do you live here in Zand?
About a bit more than 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what brought you here to Zand?
Yeah, I just wanted to live in Den Bosch. Before I lived in Eindhoven.
Yeah.
But I like Den Bosch more, so yeah, that's why I'm here.
On the other side of the canal?
Yeah, because I was looking. Yeah, basically because the house is nice.
You just found the best house here.
Yeah. And it's like a very good location between, very close to the central state station and Fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are the places also that you are mostly around when you have your free time, your leisure time. Yeah. If there's something that you could change here in this neighborhood, or maybe you wish, what would it be?
I would really like to have more trees on the street and on the parking there.
There's a parking behind your house?
Yeah, there's like a parking which most of it is like from a couple of companies which having office on the big apartment building.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because of like it's big parking without any trees, like the sound is amplified there.
Okay.
Yeah, so
so everything that happens there, you hear very well in your house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually you hear a bit. If we go towards the water, there's a lot of green trees and on the other side there's like a small park. But actually the street itself could be a lot greener.
Yeah, this street doesn't have any trees.
Yeah.
And the park actually is not really used as it should be, I think, because it's not really walkable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's mostly like poop from dogs.
Yeah, that's true. You don't really sit there for a picnic.
Exactly.
And we're talking about the Emmaplein there.
Yeah.
And I see in front of your house that you try to make it green.
Yeah, trying to.
Yeah. Did you do this yourself, or was it here already when you?
We did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. So if everybody does it, it becomes already a bit greener. Yeah. Well, thanks for getting to know you, and I'll see you around.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye, Alexei.
Bye.
Podcast Zandmakers is an initiative of the Zandbewoners Neighborhood Association. The introduction poem was written and recited by Kelly Verdonk, Poet Laureate of Den Bosch. The music is by Van Dikhout. The song Zand is specially arranged by conductor Marjorie Lieben for the Koninklijke Harmonie 's-Hertogenbosch and performed by the Gulmi en Baar Orchestra. Zandmakers is produced by Judith and Sander of Outcast Media. It was made financially possible by contributions from the Postcode Loterij Buurtfonds and Oranje Fonds. Thank you for listening to the Zandmakers podcast. If you want to stay informed about the Zandmakers and neighborhood at Zand, follow Zandbewoners on your favorite podcast app, social media and subscribe to our newsletter at zandbewoners.nl. Goedemorgen. Onderweg naar werk.
English?
Oh, on the way to your work.
Yes.
Okay. And how many times do you pass this street to?
In this week, it's 3 times a week.
Okay.
Sometimes twice.
Yeah, and what is your impression of the street, of the neighborhood?
This neighborhood specifically, I mean, we haven't explored that much rather than going to office.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's calm, it's peaceful. I love the people. So yeah, it's chill to be here.
Okay, that's a nice impression.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Something you want to add to that?
So like from the infrastructure point of view, I think
Any view that you see or you feel?
I think it is great. I mean, it is something which you can rely while walking. It's different experience altogether back home.
Okay.
When I come here.
And what is back home for you?
So you may feel a little bit, cautious while you are walking on the on the road. So I think it is secure also.
Yeah.
From the quality point of view, the roads are very nice, and it is something which you can rely on if you are really traveling day to day.
Okay.
And, you don't have to really care about anything other than the road and your day-to-day livelihood.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. Have a nice day and enjoy your work today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Bye-bye.